Okay, so welcome to chapter two. This is our first, I don't know, good look into starting out with C++. So the chapter one really didn't have any programming in it. So this is the part where you'll start doing some programming, learning more about C++. For those of you that it's the first time doing any coding, it's kind of fun to mess around and bang out the code. So it's pretty cool. So in our first activities video, in these each time you'll see this little activities video, it's kind of what we'll do for the week. You notice this right away is broken up into part one of two. So our textbook is designed to be used in where you buy one book and you use it for two different courses, sometimes three. So for us, we're only going to cover the first, I think it's what, eight, nine chapters, something like that. I can't remember just offhand, but I think it's nine. Anyway, so we're going to do chapter two, and that allows us to take a couple of weeks on certain chapters. So here, especially at the beginning, we're going to spend 2 weeks on the major chapters. So, and this just starting out, there's a lot in chapter two. So, especially if you're new. So, what we're going to do is we'll start out with the first. If I come over here, we'll start out with the first. I think 9 sections for this particular week. You'll have assignments that will go with these 9 sections. Everything that you learn in these sections here, these are all things that you'll need to do or need to use. Well, maybe not everything, but these are things that as you do the assignments for this week, you'll be able to look back at these sections. So you don't need the last half of the chapter to be able to do the assignments this week. All right, and then the next week we'll move into the rest of the chapter, and I try to stay. Pretty much in tune with the way the author has things. Sometimes I jump around. This chapter, I think I stayed with it. And in most chapters I will too. So, and if I do jump and skip something or move around, I'll definitely let you know. But I probably don't do that until later on in the book. I'm trying to think offhand, but anyway, I don't think we do that for a while. So, and by that point, you'll know exactly what it is. I'm saying, hey, we're going to skip this because of this reason, and it'll make sense to you. So, or we're going to do this, or we're going to spend some extra time on this piece because of this. And anyway, so you'll see when we get there. All right. So let me jump down, and I just wanted to mention really quickly. So the second file, this is the PowerPoint, so you can see PPTX, and oh, in case you're curious, it says Jeff. That's just a thing for me. That's not really for you. I tend to do that when I'm done with the file. I put my name on it, and it just reminds me that hey, this is one that I've edited. So in some classes, the PowerPoints that you'll get that come from the publisher. In fact, these PowerPoints come from the publisher and from the author of the textbook. But in some classes, they don't really do anything to them, right? So they're just uploaded and they're like, here you go, here are the PowerPoints. But the PowerPoints that I put together, I start with that, and then I delete things, add things, and you'll find there are active links, lots of things for you to play with. So I would highly recommend that as you're going through the book, follow along with the PowerPoint. As you're watching the videos, follow along with the PowerPoint, and you'll see some things that you can use. So I think it's much easier to see the code as it's working. So you'll find a lot of active links that you can go and find it. So in fact, let me scroll over here real quick and just I don't click on one of these random links in here somewhere, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, so something like this. So you'll see a link here. So C++ Visualizer, that's a link. In fact, when I roll over, you'll see there's the Google short link, hyperlink that you see in there, and there'll be more down here. So you've got, a couple different ones here. Sometimes I just put the link itself. Sometimes I'll put, something here or the title of it or maybe a particular program or what you'd find in the textbook. And sometimes I just put the link. But you see those in there. And if you click on these, it'll end up looking something like this. So if we come over, like this one pops up in Python Tutor. Again, I'm going to tell you this is a great website. So you can step through code. And in fact, you can see in this particular code, an unruly printing program. So this is from the book. This is, you can see it has 6 steps. And we can step through one piece at a time. And it will walk through, kind of going off the screen here. So let me roll over here a little bit. And we can step through each one of the lines of code. So we've got this little next line. So make sure you watch the video on Python Tutor and also on Rappel so that you can see how these work and saving things. And you can see that this is just absolutely terrible. So, and the next slide, in fact, those 2 active links you saw on the next slide of PowerPoint show you 2 different ways to do, a carriage return or a line return or whatever you want to call it. And this is a just terribly inefficient way of doing it. And that kind of thing will make sense to you as you get more coding under your belt. All right. So anyway, so that's that piece. So I'm going to kind of drag this back over here just so I can bring my PowerPoint back on there. So anyway, so that's that piece there. So I'm going to leave this. In fact, I'll just drop back to that real quick. So let me go over here again. Oops. Wait, hang on. Make sure I go over here so I can see all this stuff over here. There we go. Okay. So as we're looking at these pieces in here, so you can see, especially in chapter two. So the first two sections, or the first 2 weeks of chapter two, we've got two parts. So we've got part one of two, part two of two will be next week, and you'll see there are a lot of videos. So each one of these hyperlinks will take you to a page that links you to a video on YouTube. So I've basically gone through and made a video for each section. You can see this one, two different ones for that particular section. The ones that are kind of tabbed in like this, these are from the author. So you'll hear Tony Gaddis on these particular videos, and I put them in even if they don't apply. Like, I don't think we're going to do the restaurant bill problem. Well, as of right now, I may change my mind. But as of right now, when I'm making this video, I didn't put that one in. So, but I put the videos in there too, so that you can just see them. And again, those come from the author. But we have different videos in here. Please, especially if you're new, don't skip these videos. I know it's a lot, especially starting out, but I kind of tone that down as we get going. So after chapter two, I kind of feel like I really want to help you get a good foundation, and then after that, you'll be like, okay, I get this. I got a handle on this thing, and I can do it. So I found that after the first really first programming chapter, I bring the videos down a notch, and I don't make so many, so I won't flood you with them. But especially if you're brand new, definitely watch these videos. Okay, so I know I talk fast, so in the videos, it's one of the things that I don't know. My dean always says, "Man, you talk way too fast. You need to slow down." But I know in the videos you can pause it, rewind it, all that kind of good stuff. So there's that. All right. As I just scroll down here really quickly, you can see, so these are all things that will go with our first half of chapter two. And then you'll see the assignments, at least as of right now. These are the assignments that I have listed in there. So you always see my programming lab for these chapters. I think there's a couple sections way late in the textbook, but you'll always see these for the next couple of months. And then you've got, what is it, 4 problems here. A couple of them are from the PowerPoint, and then a couple of them from the textbook. And sometimes I'll modify something from the book and put it in the PowerPoint, or vice versa. So anyway, so you'll see those little assignments in there and kind of how much points are worth, and it'll have the due dates and everything for you too. Don't forget about my programming lab. I just want to very quickly just mention my programming lab. Hopefully you watched a little video on that already. But when you're logged into my programming lab, if I just go to chapter 2, for example, this is active right now. So I can come down here, and let's say I don't know, let's just pick this one. So we randomly click on one, and here is this is a very typical type of problem that you'll see. So this just says write a statement. So one statement that prints hello world to the screen. So you come down here and you can just type in whatever you want. Okay. If you click submit and it's wrong, that's okay. But it gives you some little suggestions. And I don't know what kind of suggestions it might give me from that total random junk that I just typed in, but not great. I guess a semicolon piece is useful, and we're going to have to use double quotes. And okay, so not too bad. But notice how it puts a little red X over here. That's totally fine. Remember, you are not graded on if you get this right the first time. I do not care. So take a look at these, and then come back over here, maybe look at it again, see if you can get something to work, try it again. Eventually, when you get right, it'll put a green check mark here. I don't care how many times you have to do it, all right? This is just a learning tool. So if you're spinning your wheels on something, and a lot of times it's just these, a lot of these are just basic word problems, right? Well, they can be confusing. So if you're taking a look at this and you're like, man, I just don't get it. I don't even know what they're asking. Then don't forget you have the solutions tab on here. So you click on that. It gives you some sample solutions. So typically, according to them, the best one is typically the first one. But then there are other ways of doing things too. So you'll see other ways of throwing them out there. And then, once you a lot of times what happens is you click on solutions and then you just go, oh man, yeah, I got it. I know exactly what they're talking about. Not just because you saw the answer, but then it helps you understand. And then maybe the next couple ones are very similar to that, so you can breeze through those and you don't even need the solutions piece. Okay. So again, use it as a learning tool. I don't want you to sit on, this problem for, I don't know, half hour, whatever, and you're still sitting on one problem. Don't do that. All right. So check the solutions, figure out what they're asking, put it in there, submit it, and you're good to go. Okay, so, and you can see there's quite a few, especially at the beginning, the first several chapters, there's quite a few. These aren't all of them, but these are just the ones that I've included for you to work on. So you'll see, there's quite a few, and they go with each section. So here's what I recommend. You notice that if we jump back over here real quick, So in chapter 2, and we've got these sections, okay? So you notice each one of the videos has a section that goes with it. So I would highly recommend following along with the PowerPoint, watching a video, having your book out, you just kind of roll through. And some sections are quick, and some sections you may have to look at all those sources, all right? Once you feel like you've got the hang of it, great. Come over to my programming lab and do that particular section. So go to Tutu or whatever and do those problems in there. Then go ahead and go back into the PowerPoint video, whatever, and go to section 2.3. So separate it out by section versus just, okay, I'm just going to run through the PowerPoint or read through the book, the whole, first 9 sections, and then come in and do all this stuff. It will be a lot easier for you if you break it up into sections. And sometimes you might do two at a time if they kind of go together or something, but try and break it up a little bit. I think it makes it much easier for you to learn new material. All right, and you'll see all this stuff in here. Okay, so I've rambled on here for about 11 minutes, so I'm gonna stop yammering at you, and hopefully you have the hang of it. If you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll go from there. All right, thanks. Have fun.